Welcome to episode 17 of the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are currently watching a lot of the Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order leading up to the release of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Today we are discussing Season 2 of The Bad Batch, episodes which take place between the years of 19 and 18 BBY. There's a little bit of debate on where they actually fall. I'm gonna assume all of these are 18 BBY because we spent a lot of time in 19 BBY. But
we're ready for the next year.
Yeah, but
also, Omega got a glow up, and she definitely looks a year older.
She did. But by the way, I'm Fatheree. This is Taylor.
Hello.
Y'all might know us from the TEX-TREK podcast. But Taylor, we've been watching Star Wars in chronological order since, where did we start? Like with the Acolyte, that was in 132 with like some flashbacks to 148 BBY. And then the Clone Wars took us a long time to go from 22 BBY to 19 BBY. But then we spent a lot of time in the year 19 BBY. Do you know what was the first piece of Star Wars we watched in 19 BBY? If you had to guess.
Looking at it.
Okay.
Cheating over here.
Well, yeah,
What
Taylor
revival?
is looking at the
Season
spreadsheet.
5 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it was Season 5. It was actually when Darth Maul took over Hondo's pirate gang.
Okay.
That was the first episode of Clone Wars to be in 19 BBY. So I feel like it's been over 365 days since that happened, right?
For sure.
It's gotta be.
Like,
Because
for sure.
There was a lot of shit that went down at the end of the Clone Wars in 19 BBY, so, like, Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order, the clone conspiracy, Order 66 stuff being revealed, all of the Revenge of the Sith stuff that we covered. Like, basically all of seasons 6 and 7 of the Clone Wars, and all of season 1 of the Bad Batch.
Oh, that's so hard. Even, like, thinking of Ahsoka leaving the Order and then also coming back for the Mandalorian plot being in the same year is crazy.
Well, it was a rough war. It was a rough time for a lot of people. But yeah, now that we're post Clone Wars and dealing with the rise of the Empire, this new transition to the Empire, there's still a little bit of like Clone Wars hangover that's still a little lingering in season 2 of Bad Batch. You know, there's still a few Roger Rogers out there, Rogerin', but yeah, for the most part, it does feel like we're leaving that era of Star Wars quickly, and it is rapidly starting to look more like the original trilogy Star Wars that I grew up with. I think you grew up with too.
Yeah.
I like the prequels started coming out very early in your life, so I feel like you didn't get like I got to like bask in my childhood years in the original trilogy, and that was the only Star Wars. But we're talking about Season 2 of The Bad Batch. So Season 2, episodes 1 through 15. There's 15 episodes,
16.
right? Or 6. Oh, we just didn't check these last two.
Oh, I'll fix it.
That's okay. Taylor's going to fix that on the spreadsheet. And the people who listen podcast style and don't watch this on a video format won't know the difference anyways. You know, so Star Wars, like Lucasfilm, has not specified the first 6 episodes of Season 2, if they're in 19 BBY or 18 BBY, but we know going episode 7 onward, it's supposed to be 18. So, and thank you, Taylor, for checking the boxes on the spreadsheet. But we're going to start off with there's kind of a 2-part opener of Season 2. There's a lot of two-parters. A lot of these episodes work well in pairs. It kind of makes it easier for us to talk about them that way sometimes. But Taylor, if you want to tell us what happens in the first 2 episodes of Season 2, starting with Season 2, Episode 1, Spoils of War.
After a tip off by her pirate friend Fee Genoa, Sid sends the Bad Batch to Sereno to steal part of Count Dooku's war chest. After some reluctance, Hunter agrees, and the squad goes to the planet where they find the Empire already transporting the Count's wealth off-world. While trying to steal some of the cargo, the Bad Batch is seen, and a fight ensues during which Omega, Tech, and Echo are trapped inside a cargo ship preparing for liftoff. They fight their way to one of the cargo containers on the ship and escape inside it, attempting to use its own thrusters to make a safe landing. Meanwhile, Hunter and Wrecker are pursued through the ruins of a nearby city.
Yeah, and then that brings us to Episode 2, Ruins of War.
The cargo container crashes on Sereno. While making their way back to the Marauder, Omega, Tech, and Echo meet local man Romar Adele. Life might be like. Omega sneaks away to try to recover some of the cargo from the container. Echo and Tech go after her, resulting in a clash with Imperial search parties. Romar helps them escape. Hunter and Wrecker fight their way out of the city and reunite with the others. Learning that the Bad Batch survived the destruction of Typoka City, Rampart fears punishment for his failure to eliminate them and decides not to inform Tarkin of this.
Dun dun dun.
Drama!
Yeah, we have some Imperial drama. These episodes are fun though. They're robbing Count Dooku's war chest, and I had forgotten that was the plot of a Bad Batch episode, but I clearly remembered subconsciously because Taylor, you know how I keep talking about how I would really like to try running an RPG game. I've never done it, and I have like some ideas. I had a Star Wars idea, and I wanted to do a heist set during the Clone Wars that was going to turn up. You're going to have to go steal something from Count Dooku from like his like vault at his castle on Serrano. And then it's like I watched this episode and I'm like, hey, I forgot, but this is a lot like that idea I have for an RPG. And then we kept watching it and I was like, wait, it is exactly like that idea. I cannot use that idea. Yeah. I mean, I guess it could just be like another heist, but it made me. I was just like, oh, I thought it was something I came up with on my own. But no, I had gotten that from the show. But it was kind of fun. That's what I was talking about, like the Clone Wars hangover. Like, you know, Count Dooku, he was a big deal in that show, and now like he's dead, and his castle is all empty, and the Empire is just
wealth. Yeah.
Ransacking his fortune. Ransacking. That's a weird word. I don't know if I've ever said that out loud before. And this is the introduction of Fee, the pirate lady. Mm-hmm. So that's one of my. I don't know, I guess one of my slight criticisms of the Bad Batch, but it becomes really apparent to me in Season 2. But I think a lot of the, guest star roles they create for the show, a lot of these supporting characters are quite, they're just kind of dull and forgettable. Like, Fee, okay, cool, you're like this pirate lady, but you're kind of a boring one.
Yeah.
And, like, the old man, Romar Adele, who helps them.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. He's just kind of I don't know.
They're all a little forgettable. Like, nothing really stands out. I think Fee stands out a lot more than, like, Romar. But, I
mean, I kind of like the, I don't know, how old do you think Fee is supposed to be?
Like, maybe late 40s.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, yeah, she seems to be, like, probably like in her late 30s or 40s or maybe even older. And I was like, a black lady who is this Indiana Jones type Tomb Raider type adventurer. I was like, yeah, I guess that's kind of unique. But I just wish like they gave her like a more colorful personality. Especially you'd think like in animation, the characters would be a bit more lively and vibrant. But instead, it seems like they're trying to make like kind of keep things like a little mundane. That's just kind of the Imperial Galaxy is less colorful than the Republic Galaxy. It's just, but that's something that came up when we were watching these episodes. As I was talking about how it looks like all these people are they're so easy to picture in live action, and it almost seems like they were trying to not look like animation, not look cartoonish, and being like a little too self-serious maybe. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool to revisit Dooku's throne room and see some of those environments again. And just like the opening of the season where they're running from those lobster things, those crab things.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, when we just, drop in on the middle of an adventure. They have like their more colorful armor. I guess is it uniforms? I guess they're still like a team. They're like a mercenary team.
Yeah.
I guess they still have like a team uniform, but like their armor is a lot more colorful. I was talking about like all the other, like the rest of the galaxy seems like more like mundane, but they're actually getting a little bit more personality. I guess.
They're holding on to their individuality more and more, and becoming more independent because they're not on the Republic dime anymore.
That's a big theme of the show that I'm not sure if I mean, like when I just watched this through the first time, I wasn't really discussing it with anyone. I wasn't trying to like look for messages or anything, but I feel like that's a big theme of the show is what choices do you make individually when the rest of the world, or the galaxy in this case, but everything's going to shit, and everyone is being a bad person and being a dickhead to each other, and like, the Empire is here, and it's scary and hard for everyone, and then people kind of take that out on each other, and everyone is being kind of the worst version of themselves, and it's important to not use that as an excuse to give in and be a shitty person also, and like contribute to that bad world. It's like, cling to your values, and if anything, it's more important to do that then, even though that's when it's going to be the hardest. But yeah, you can also kind of see that visually of like, everything else in the galaxy is getting shittier, and like just aesthetically starting to look more and more fascist, and like the clones are all in like their white armor. They all have like the standard flat top haircut. They've lost all of their individuality except for these clones, and I guess we get Rex's network of clone rebels to talk about soon. But yeah, it's cool to see them like, they're actually they're not letting that bring them down.
Yeah, and I also like seeing there's a little bit of like tension in the team starting out even this early of Echo pushing Hunter to wanting to do more.
Right. Echo's more proactive.
He's like, hey, I want to be with Rex, and like we need to be doing more, but we have this kid and we're trying to take care of this kid, and that's like holding us back, kind of is the conversation. Like he's understanding, like he's like, I know that the reason we have to hold back is because we have a kid with us, but we should be doing more with our skill set. So I like that tension, and I like Omega overhearing that and trying to like overcompensate the whole time, like to Echo, saying like, see, like I am worth it, like it's okay, like I can fight, like I'm, like you can take me too, like you don't have to, she wants to like claim her space and prove herself to her brothers,
I like that they have that conflict up front at the beginning of season 2, though, that Echo wants to be more involved in opposing the Empire, and then, which, I mean, I understand that. I'm like, yeah, cool, Echo, like, I want to be on your side, yeah, let's go fuck up the Empire. They're clearly the bad guys, right? It's not going to get better until someone makes it get better. Mm-hmm. But then when Hunter is saying, like, yeah, but we got to take care of this kid, and I don't want to endanger this kid, and it's like, well, I mean, that is, like, a good reason to want to stay out of it. So I can understand both sides, and even like with the Crosshair stuff, and I'm really excited to talk about like the next episode, the Solitary Clone, which was like the Crosshair centric episode. He's the only Bad Batcher who shows up, but I talked about how at the end of season 1, when Crosshair makes his case for like, that's why we need like a strong empire, and y'all should just get on my side of supporting like a strong empire with like a strong military, and then we'll be safe. But I disagree with his approach, but I like that it just kind of humanizes it, and you can sympathize with all these different points of view.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like the dramatic sparks of seeing the clashes fall out. Do you want to talk about season 2, episode 3, the Solitary Clone?
Sure.
Okay, what happens there?
Crosshair is assigned to clone Commander Cody on a mission to the former separatist planet Desix to rescue new Imperial Governor Groton, who has been taken hostage by a local resistance movement. Desix's former governor, Tawny Ames, demands that the planet remain out of Imperial jurisdiction and cites the Republic's refusal to broker peace with the Separatists during the Clone Wars. Cody argues for a peaceful resolution, but Crosshair kills Ames on Groton's orders. Desix is brought under Imperial control. Returning to the Imperial capital Coruscant, Cody questions whether the Empire is doing good while Crosshair remains loyal. Cody deserts soon after.
So, I had forgotten this episode. I mean, like, when I watched it, like, oh yeah, I do kind of remember, like, Commander Cody showing up again, but when we rewatched it, I don't know, maybe because, like, we had just watched all the Clone Wars and I was, like, really paying attention to this stuff. But this episode kind of blew me away. It's the most impressive Bad Batch episode within the first 2 seasons, in my opinion. Because it's so subversive. There's almost this kind of, like, artful quality to how well done this is. But it's such, like, a standard Clone Wars episode. They're literally, like, storming a castle. You know, there's, like, that cool scene of Crosshair, like, sniping his way up the spiral staircase with those pucks that he can bounce his blaster shots off of.
Mm-hmm.
But they're basically, it's like a bunch of clones. They go in to go storm the castle of some separatist asshole and beat up a bunch of clankers, just blast battle droids left and right. And at the end of the day, you know, like, capture this planet for the Republic. Or, you know, but now it's the Empire. But I'm watching it, and there's this kind of, like, there's this dark, ominous thing, because, you know, you're seeing, like, the bad guys, the Empire, just roll up on on a rebel, basically, on you know, this insurgent. But you're so used to cheering for, like, the clones to take down these battle droids.
Yeah.
And they're doing, like, some of the classic Clone Wars stuff, like the Onderon technique of rolling the detonators under the destroyer droid force field bubbles to take them down. And, like, a lot of those familiar things. And then, like, Cody and Crosshair having to work together, like we saw so many clones do in the Clone Wars. And then I kept, like, thinking, like, oh man, that was, like, a badass move that this clone did. But then I was like, no, I should be rooting for the droids, though. Right. I should be rooting against... These are Imperial clones. But it's like, that's the mentality that these clones are... And, like, we see, like, some of the clones that start standing up against the Empire. And, you know, Cody is very conflicted throughout this. And we're thinking, like, he's got to be riddled with guilt after his attack on Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, we actually, you know, see him order his men to open fire on Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. And this is the first time we'd ever gotten anything in canon, as far as I know, that, like, shows, like, a post-Revenge of the Sith Cody, like, dealing with that guilt. And they bring back that cool, like, military compound from the Clone Wars where Ahsoka was put on trial, where when she, like, does her fugitive escape and makes a run for it. But they have, like, those, like, the memorial to the clones who died at the Battle of Geonosis, the big statue of clones on top of that memorial wall that's supposed to be made out of the rocks of Geonosis. But it also just looks like, wow, that is, like, some, like, big fascist iconography that also, like, looks kind of cool and, like, but also, like, kind of scary. And to see, like, Cody and Crosshair, you know, like, have, like, their conversations. They're, like, the good soldiers follow order stuff. And then to see Crosshair's reaction to learning that Cody deserted. Oh, and Cody's speech to the Separatist lady when, like, he says, you know, there's been, like, so much death and so much killing and we just need to lay down our arms and give peace a chance. And then when she finally surrenders, then just Crosshair shoots her and just... I don't know. It's like, it felt like Cody, like, really meant that, though. He was tired of all... Like, he wanted the war to end. Like, he wanted the Clone Wars to end and then it to be a better existence. And instead he says, oh, all we fought for was making the galaxy a terrible authoritarian shithole.
Yeah.
But what about you? What do you think of the solitary clone?
I mean, I feel like you pretty much covered it. I liked Groton, or not Groton, Ames, the governor, I guess.
Okay, the separatist.
Yeah, she was pretty badass, honestly. The one who was controlling all the droids and stuff. Yeah.
My theory is that she reprogrammed the tactical droid and then told him to go reprogram all the other ones.
Yeah, that's a good, solid theory.
But
yeah, and I really liked all the stuff with Cody and Crosshair, and kind of like, I agree with you, like his speech to her is really good, where you really feel like he believes in it and stuff, and then he's caught by surprise when Crosshair doesn't.
But it's like, because he was under orders, or isn't that Groton governor who is just like a sniveling coward until these clones came and rescued him? He gives Cody the order to shoot the separatist, Ames, right?
Yeah.
But Crosshair doing it spares Cody.
I was just thinking, like, maybe Crosshair even killed her just to spare Cody.
Yeah, because he's like...
And, like, not even, like, Cody doing it, but also to spare, like, in case the new governor guy gets killy with Cody, you know? We see that happens in the future episodes in this season, but...
Yeah, a lot of clones start refusing to follow orders and start kind of resisting their inhibitor chips.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely think Crosshair was... I think he's still, like, always on the side of the clones first. Even though, like...
That's what he wants, yeah.
Yeah, with all of his, like, good soldiers follow orders, like, he still has, like, an underlying, like, clones first mentality.
Yeah,
like,
he misses his family. Like, he wants... Because he wanted them to, like, come with him.
Yeah.
And come, like, come be part of the Empire with me.
Mm-hmm. You have anything else on the solitary clone?
No, just, like, I guess with the Cody thing, like, he saw that Cody was conflicted, and it was almost kind of like a "oh, you sweet summer child" moment. Like, oh, you still like hold out some hope of being a decent person. Like, you haven't already accepted that your lot in life is to be a murderous piece of shit. Like, I've already figured out that's all I am. So I'll do you one. You can still, you know, be this pretend to be the sweet summer child, and I'll be the one getting my hands dirty.
Yeah.
But maybe when he gets the news from Rampart at the end of the... Rampart is another example of kind of like he's just one of the most boring Imperial officers. Yeah. Not that, you know, they tend to be these kind of like uptight, stuffy characters, but he's one of the less unique ones. But anyways, Rampart gives Crosshair the news that Cody deserted, and like I don't know, Crosshair, like I don't know if he felt like man, like that might be my fault, or you know, maybe he's like, man, good for Cody, I wish I had the balls to do that. Yeah. Maybe he's kind of envious. I guess he might be feeling a mix of things, but the show gets really sophisticated. Like I felt like the Kiner, is it Kleiner or Kiner? I always get his name wrong.
The composer?
Yeah.
Kleiner, I think. Kliner.
But his music was so good in this episode, and the editing is just like some beautiful shots, but it had like this, just like this dark, ominous atmosphere to it the whole time. That I just felt like nervous and tense the whole. And it's weird because like this is just like a standard, you know, clones versus droids story that I've seen 100 times, but it's making me really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I thought it was a cool feat that the show pulled off. But let's go on to what I think was a sillier, cartoony episode if I ever saw one. Faster. What happens in season 2, episode 4? Faster.
Your favorite. While Hunter and Echo are away on an assignment, Sid takes Omega, Tech, and Wrecker to a race on Safa Toma. Sid is challenged by oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Star Wars names. Milegi, one of her business rivals, and his racer Jet Venom. During the next round, Milegi orders Venom to cheat, and this causes Sid's cocky droid racer, Teo, to lose. When Milegi comes to collect, Omega challenges him to another race for Sid's freedom. Just before the next event, Teo is wrecked in an accident. Tech takes Teo's place as Sid's pilot and uses his calculative intellect to offset his lack of experience, winning the race. Milegi honors his end of the deal, but warns the clones that Sid might turn against them one day. This was, like, I think their first warning, right? Maybe second.
I mean, she kind of warned them herself in season 1, I think.
Yeah, she's like, I could turn y'all over at any point. Don't you forget it.
So this is, Tech does pod racing, but it's not pod racing. It's riot racing, I think is what they call it.
I don't remember.
But yeah, it's like the vehicles that you drive also can shoot at each other. So it's like racing, but with combat. So it's very Mario Kart, honestly.
It is.
But, well, speaking of video games, the Sonic the Hedgehog guy does the voice of Teo, the droid, right?
Ben Schwartz, I think.
Yeah.
Or Schwanz. I can't remember his last name.
So,
he also is John Ralphio in Parks and Rec.
yeah, and I guess he also, he did the voice of BB-8.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, or he had some involvement with it.
That's cool.
I just knew that he had been involved in Star Wars before this. I looked into that. And the bad guy, Malego, whatever his name is, but he's one of the aliens from The Force Awakens that's in Maz Kanata's bar. There's like this big dude with like horns coming out the bottom of his chin, and there's like this human-looking girl kind of like resting on top of him, but he's like this like big-ass, big buff alien. And this guy is that same species in this episode, Malegi. But he's voiced by Ernie Hudson, who is Winston the Ghostbuster in Ghostbusters.
Cool.
So, yeah, I didn't realize how many cool guest stars the show gets.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, I would frequently say this is my least favorite episode of The Bad Batch, just because every animated show has to do, like, the dumb race episode. Like, I love Star Trek Prodigy, the animated Star Trek show, but in Season 2, they had their own little pod race episode with Kazon. But this wasn't as bad as I remembered, actually. It's just like a silly episode, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of cool to see. I think Tech is kind of like an annoying asshole in this episode.
He's very
like,
cocky.
Yeah, but he's always cocky, I guess. But I don't know. It was just kind of a cool examination of oh yeah, like maybe if you are more defensive and less aggressive, or you know, like there's balance to things. I don't know. It's not like a very smart episode, but it was just a fun little entertaining filler episode.
Yeah. And it gives time for Tech to bond with like Omega, you know, during the season before we lead up to the big finale. But something else I really liked about this was his like quick thinking skills. I guess like that is like his literal defect, I guess, is like being hyper intelligent and like being able to problem solve quickly. And I guess they call it calculative, but I think that's like kind of interesting that it does come off very cocky. Like we both were kind of like, okay, Tech, like you know, you're being kind of arrogant, but to him he's not. Like he's really just like, well, I've already calculated this all out, and this is, like, logical, and it will work. And it's, like, he's very direct, I think, more than he is, like, arrogant or cocky.
But he's arrogant and cocky, too. Like, he talks about, like, how smart he is all the time.
He has been genetically enhanced, so. But, yeah, this
I know.
episode
he reminds the audience, like, every episode he's in.
This one doesn't bother me very much. I like Sid being in trouble, and then, like, sticking their neck out for Sid a little bit.
I like the asshole Teo droid, and then when he gets hit by...
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wait a minute, he's about to get hit by something, like, right before it happened. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait, doesn't something happen to him? And that's why Tech has to race.
Yeah,
and then,
he got Regina Georged with, like, the bus hitting her in Mean Girls. Whack.
Yeah, or, it happened in a certain Black Mirror episode, too.
Oh.
But I don't have much other thoughts. I guess I should say that I do appreciate all the tech stuff as we've watched seasons 1 and 2. Because, spoilers, there's a big death at the end of season 2 that we're about to talk about. And knowing that was coming made me really pay attention and appreciate all the tech scenes in seasons 1 and 2. And, like, season 2, they definitely, like, they give him a lot of screen time, you know, knowing that he's coming up on the end of his story. But I, like, mentioned something about that to Taylor when we were watching, like, one of the early season 2 episodes, and you were like, wait a minute, Tech dies?
Yeah, I totally forgot.
So, yeah, I'll be less spoilery of things in season 3.
The thing is that I guess we watched these in 2024.
In 2025. We watched these early last year, before we watched Andor season 2. We had, like, a little mini Star Wars
okay.
watch.
Man, I don't know why I forgot that. It's kind of a big thing to forget. Maybe my memory's going bad. It's kind of nice, though, I get to rewatch these things and experience it again for the first time, kind of.
Yeah, I was more invested this time because, like, I didn't want it to happen. I'm, like, dreading it when we... Well, we'll save it till we get to those last 2 episodes.
Anyways, so the next one's...
Entombed! This is our Indiana Jones / Tomb Raider / Dr. Aphra. But what do you got? What happens in Season 2, Episode 5, Entombed?
While searching a junkyard for useful salvage, Omega and Wrecker find an ancient compass with a set of coordinates for the uncharted Kaldar Trinary system. Believing this compass will lead them to hidden treasure, Fee and Omega persuade the Bad Batch to set out for the system. The compass leads them to the planet Skara Null, the resting place of a legendary crystal known as the Heart of the Mountain. They find the crystal and Fee takes it, activating a giant ancient mech which begins destroying their surroundings. Fearing that the Marauder will be destroyed and leave them stranded, the others convince Fee to return the crystal. This destroys the mech. This was so funny because I was like watching this and I was like, this is like The Hobbit. And then I was like, wait, this is very not The Hobbit. As soon as like the giant mech was like activated, I was like, what the hell just happened in this episode?
It goes from Hobbit getting into the Lonely Mountain to find the Arkenstone to, I don't know, Pacific Rim.
I haven't seen that, so. But yeah, this like, it was such a hilarious turn. Like, we're just kind of like exploring and going in here and all these booby traps and like I don't know, using the compass to like see the glow in the dark stuff to find the way through the ancient tunnels or whatever. And then it's like, surprise, we actually have like a really high tech weapon that you've activated. Like, it's so funny, like it's almost like you blink and you're like, wait, what did I miss?
I kind of like that it took a kind of an unexpected turn there. And it's like, what would like Indiana Jones tomb raiding in the Star Wars universe be like? Like, you can't go find like a magical chalice, like a holy grail that will make you immortal or something like that. You can't I mean, I don't know, I guess you have like the weird force and mystical stuff, but I think it being like, oh, this like scary ancient super weapon technology was a good little twist. And it is like that classic Indiana Jones thing where like you never actually get the searcher never actually gets to keep the treasure. It's just kind of like the adventure as its own reward in the end. Yeah. Or like the lesson you learn from the adventure. But yeah, there was some hardcore Indiana Jones references in this. Like, I thought like a lot of the music evoked some of the Indiana Jones scores that, also John Williams. So Kevin Kleiner. So I'll get his name right eventually. But yeah, I guess he's such like a student of John Williams that he's like, oh, I can also do Indiana Jones and Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing that giant mech thing reminded me of was...
It's like a big robot giraffe. Yeah. It's like this big long neck brontosaurus-looking thing.
But it reminds me a little bit of the Atlantis technology.
Yeah.
With, like, the Lost City of Atlantis or whatever. I think that's Warner Brothers. Is it Warner Brothers? Or Disney?
It's
I
Disney.
can't remember. But they use crystals to, like, activate their speeders that are, like... They look like rocks, but then they like light up and they're very high tech.
Yeah, it looks both
kind of what that looks like.
It's like organic, natural looking, but also very like machine technology looking at the same time. Yeah, this
with that glowing blue.
This didn't look like how that stuff looked, but it was that same effect. It's like that same kind of fusion of organic and technological. But yeah, it looked like alien and old and advanced. What it reminded me of is, and I start to feel bad because I bring it up so much, but the video game Jedi Fallen Order, there's a lot of like exploring old temples like this, and you have to kind of like solve puzzles, and there are actually like some like ancient robot temple guard things that have like a little spinning ball in their chest that can like shoot blue energy beams at you. It looks very similar to this. So I don't know, maybe it's meant to be like the same ancient race built creators. Both. Yeah. But it was another thing of, like watching them explore the temple it made me want to play that game and do like, oh yeah, I want to go like solve some puzzles in an ancient temple in the Star Wars galaxy. So, it's a filler. Entombed is a filler episode that I particularly really liked because I don't know, it was like they got off the beaten path, but I got like this cool Indiana Jones story in Star Wars.
And I think Fee is pretty fun in this, where she's a liberator of artifacts that is kind of similar to Mariner's friend in Lower Decks.
Yeah, she could be a member of the Archaeologist Guild. Let's go to Kashyyyk and hang out with some Wookiees in Season 2, Episode 6, Tribe.
The Bad Batch goes to the criminal cartel Vanguard Axis to sell chain codes that Tech has forged. While there, Omega helps Gungi, a captive Wookiee Jedi youngling, escape from the cartel. Taking Gungi back to his homeworld, Kashyyyk, the Bad Batch finds the planet being ravaged by a group of Trandoshan mercenaries who work for the Empire. After winning the trust of a local Wookiee tribe, the Bad Batch learns about the respect that the Wookiees have for the giant Rorschach trees. They join the Wookiees...
The giant what trees?
Worshire? I'm sorry. Wrosshyr. Worshire? You got me. Trees. They join the Wookiees and the indigenous wildlife to enact a plan that the Wookiees say came from the trees. Together, they defeat the Imperial forces and Gungi is reunited with his people. Trees. Wookiees. This is, like, probably one of my least favorite episodes, and that makes me so sad to say, because I love tree shit, and I like the Wookiees.
You don't like animated Wookiees because they look like they're made out of plastic.
It is, and it's hard to think
do
about
for...
them as a character. It's like, that's an animal. And, like, not... I don't know.
What
it's
do you
like,
think?
like the fur... But, yeah, it's just not... It's too close to the talking animal thing, maybe.
But they don't talk. They make Wookiee noises.
I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it works very well.
What about Chewbacca when he's in live action?
That's fine. I think you're right. It is like the animation. But it's also like... I don't know. I think it's cool that we get... I guess this is like our first lightsaber of the season, and probably the first one since Kanan, or I guess Caleb brandished his in the first episode.
Yeah.
So it's cool to kind of get the reminder about the Jedi and that they're still being hunted and stuff. By like Order 66 is still ongoing. The Trandoshans being mercenaries working for the Empire is interesting choice.
They're driving what they call Imperial tanks, but it looks like Separatist tanks from the Clone Wars. So they just like, I think those are called MTTs or something like that. But whatever, the tanks that the battle droids drive around all the time in the Clone Wars, that we first see them fight the Gungans with in the Phantom Menace. Did the Empire just like take those tanks and then give them to the Trandoshan mercenaries? Like, here, part of our payment to you to go enslave these Wookiees for us is we're going to give you these tanks to use. But yeah, the Trandoshans are assholes in this episode. There was a plan to... One of the unfinished episodes of the Clone Wars was going to be the Bad Batch and Yoda team up to go to Kashyyyk. And I feel like some of that stuff was used in this story. Mm. But the Bad Batch also, they mentioned like, oh, we haven't been to Kashyyyk in a while. So maybe they did actually go have that adventure with Yoda. And no, this is like their second mission there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have very strong feelings on it. I think this one I always struggle to get through. Like, I always feel like, I think even both of us were like, can you back it up? Like, I don't really understand how we got from point here to point there. Like, it feels a little bit fast or something.
Well, I used to always, I would watch The Bad Batch, like, when I was eating dinner or something, and I would, so the episode starts off with, like, Tech trying to sell some chain codes to someone, and then, like, all of a sudden they're, like, helping this Wookiee kid escape these droids. By the way, like, those droids had a cool-looking space station, like that trading station that they start the episode on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would always get confused and, like, restart this episode, and then I'd go back to, like, eating, and then I'd be like, wait a minute, how did we get here again? So, like, this was a couple years ago, but we watched the opening of this episode several times.
Yeah.
But I like how much Kashyyyk is in this. We get those not just like the trees, but like those scary ass bugs that they
Oh yeah.
that they attack the Trandoshans with. Like Kashyyyk is a scary ass planet,
It's Australia.
and I just have always assumed before this episode that Gunji and those other younglings that we met in their field trip to Ilum to get lightsaber crystals.
They were Skywalker /
Yeah, I just thought Anakin murdered all of them because he was like, well, I don't want to lose my Natalie Portman wife. I better go kill these kids.
Yeah.
And I see Gunji made it out. So
There's hope for some of them.
I think, what do you think happened to that cocky little shit, Petro?
I think he's still out there.
I think Anakin just like split him in half,
Really?
just like immediately.
Oh, I think
like...
he would have been probably on a mission or something alone. I don't know. I'm sure they'll wrap up his story one day. Seems like they always kind of rope
They circle
everyone
back.
in, yeah.
Yeah, it was like years and years no one knew what happened to the Zillo Beast after Palpatine said like, oh, maybe the cloners should examine this Zillo Beast. But then season 2 of Bad Batch brings that back finally. I think that's everything I had on Tribe. Let's move on to Truth and Consequences,
No,
episode...
The Clone Conspiracy is next.
Or, I'm sorry, The Clone Conspiracy, episode 7.
Rampart asked the Imperial Senate to authorize the replacement of the clone army with conscripted storm troopers. He has covered up the intentional destruction of Taipoka City, blaming it on a storm. Senator Ryo Chuchi advocates for the clones' rights and is approached by clone trooper Slip, whose friend was killed after questioning Rampart's storm story. Rampart sends an assassin to kill them. As Chuchi asks Slip to testify in front of the Senate, the assassin kills Slip and attacks Chuchi. She is rescued by Rex, who Slip had asked for help. Rex captures the assassin, who is a clone, but the assassin kills himself before he can be questioned.
Yeah, then this episode is a two-parter with the next episode, episode 8, Truth and Consequences, if you want to tell us what happens next.
Rex asks the Bad Batch for help, and they travel to Coruscant. Omega accompanies Chuchi to ask for support from other senators, while Rex and the Bad Batch sneak aboard Rampart's Star Destroyer, which is undergoing maintenance to retrieve proof of the Taipoka City cover-up. In the Senate, Chuchi exposes Rampart's lie and he is arrested. However, Emperor Palpatine argues that Rampart's attack was carried out by clones, and so this revelation supports the need for a new conscripted army. The Senate approves the bill. Before the Bad Batch leaves Coruscant, Echo decides to stay with Rex to help him fight for a better future for the clones. Oh, these episodes are good, like, when you look back and you get, like, the big arc. Like, but sometimes I think watching this story, I was a little bored. Like, in, like, the micro tiny bits, I guess. I kept getting, like, oh, man, it's so Clone Wars politics. I need to focus up. And, like, I would like, lose, like, strong listening skills. And I'd be like, shit, I missed something. We gotta back it up. Like,
you just want it to be like a standalone filler episode instead of like this like big political arc. You're like why can't you just like go like race in a race again? Or just,
like goddamn, my brain is fried. I need something simpler.
Yeah, go treasure hunt with Fee again.
Yeah. They're like, no, we just did that. You have to suck it up and listen. And I'm like, okay. But I think it's all very interesting. I was excited to see Chuchi again. I really like her. She's kind of the new Padme. Like, Padme's not there.
It's like she's been inspired by her dead mentor friend.
Yeah. Like, she's kind of picking up where Padme.
Yeah, she's like, man, we could have really used Padme's leadership in the Senate right now. What would she have done? Mm-hmm. I guess I have to do that.
Yeah, and I thought a lot of the clone trooper stuff was kind of like back and forth, and because they all kind of look alike now, it's harder for me to distinguish them.
I am having the opposite experience. This is like the first time I've watched this much Clone Wars and Bad Batch, and it's like, I know who all these people are, it feels like.
Man, I keep being like, wait, was that Slip or Rex? And I'm like, how am I confusing Rex with another clone? Like, that just feels terrible. But, yeah, I was getting a little bit, like, hung up on some of their characters, I guess, because like the assassin was also a clone and looked just like the other clone that he killed, and I'm just like, damn.
And I was kind of misremembering because I was thinking like, oh, that assassin is Crosshair, but I guess so. Like that's what they try to turn him into in season 3.
Yeah.
Which they end this season by showing our new baddie, Dr. Hemlock, who they haven't introduced yet. This is kind of like the end of Rampart, or is it?
Right.
And then Hemlock kind of becomes the big bad of the show, but. You see Rampart's exit in these episodes when he's trying so hard to cover up his fuck up. Like, he doesn't want anyone to know that the Bad Batch are still active. He reported that they went down with
Camino
Tipoca with City. Tipoca City. And, you know, who was the clone who wouldn't... It was Wilco. Wilco wouldn't falsify the report.
See, I'm having a hard time remembering who's who because they don't have like distinguishing faces anymore.
Wilco, right? They've all.
I know.
They all have the Commander Cody flat top.
Yeah, they're all forced to look the same, and it's hurting my brain.
But Wilco was the one who said, "I will not falsify a report."
That sounds like something he would say, which is funny because Wilco is short for will comply, and he does not comply.
But it's like he's like one of the clones who's like still loyal to the Empire.
Yeah,
he's not one of the ones who's defected. I mean, maybe he would have defected after that, but yeah. So Rampart is so determined to make sure that he still looks good in the eyes of the Empire and can still like advance his career. And which, you know, it's kind of like the reality in fascism is like the people who move up. It's funny because they have to constantly project like, oh, I'm like this perfect strong man who doesn't get anything wrong and has like complete control of every situation, and they have to project that image, but at the same time they have to be like a total little subservient bitch to the big strong man who's their boss. And they have to like make sure that they're constantly complying and getting everything done for that pretender who's doing the same you know, it's like that meme of Dedra with Krennic behind her with his finger on her top of her head. But you know, you gotta think like, with that Tarkin is doing that to him, and then the Emperor is doing that to Tarkin, and so I like seeing that displayed here. And then like when you know, you're watching this and you're rooting for the clones and Chi-Chi, and like, okay, they have the truth on their side, so they're going to be able to, you know, expose this. Like, like, we know that they're not going to win because we know what happens later in Star Wars, but watching it kind of feels like, okay, like the good guys are about to get everything figured out and expose the truth and win and show everyone that, you know, not only are like clones are people too, you know, like they deserve rights, but also there's been like this big conspiracy to destroy the Camino cloning facilities, and the Empire is up to this shady shit. But then like Palpatine himself enters the Senate and throws Rampart under the bus.
Yeah, he seriously is like 7,000 steps ahead in every direction. Like Palpatine has, we've talked about this, like in the Clone Wars. Like he's got Plan A to Plan Double Z, like ready to go. Like in every single pawn that he's moving, he is already prepared to move that pawn in several different directions and still get the outcome he wants, or an outcome that is acceptable to him. Like he's such a good manipulator and strategist, I guess I should say. And I think that really shows here. Like, because they established earlier, I think in the previous episode, that Palpatine doesn't regularly enter the Senate meetings anymore. Right. And so,
it's a rare thing for him to show his face.
For him to, like, come out after that Tipoca City video footage, like, of Camino. Of Camino being destroyed. It's kind of a big deal. Like, everyone in the Senate are, like, gasping, like, whenever he's, like, rising from the bottom of the floor, you know? And he's like, okay, guys, things are getting kind of crazy out here. I'll show my face. And because of that, I'm going to throw Rampart under the bus because I'm pissed that I have to come into this room.
Yeah. And then he throws not just Rampart, but, like, all the clones. And the clones destroyed it for him, so we can't trust them anymore.
Yeah,
so we have to get rid of the clones.
So they followed the orders? Like, that's just as bad. And it's like, oh, that's hilarious, since you're the one that actually put the chips in there, or requested the chips in there, for them to follow orders that way. Like, to be, undying loyalty or whatever. So, yeah, lots of clone rights and, like, scapegoating clones in this and pushing for that conscripted army that the Senate, I guess it does approve.
Yeah,
in this episode.
that was the bill. Was like,
yeah.
and Palpatine calls them like stormtroopers.
Yeah,
we're gonna call our new soldiers stormtroopers.
It's kind of, I don't know if I want to say it's sad or ironic, maybe better, but like as Rampart's like literally being thrown under the bus, his plan has still worked.
Yeah,
like,
he's not gonna get the
still
credit for
getting
it.
the conscripted army. Yeah, but he's just like not going to be involved anymore. But like the thing he wanted.
The same thing happens with Krennic eventually with the Death Star.
Yeah.
We see that in Rogue One. And he's like, man, this is my life's work. I dedicated my entire life to creating the super weapon. And
he's like, well, now you can dedicate your death to it.
Yeah, basically. But that's how the Empire just takes, like, how they came to Kamino. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to take what we want from this planet and then throw the rest away.
Oh, yeah. And I think in this arc is when we realize that the Kaminoans are basically all wiped out. Because we see there's that senator, the Kaminoan senator, who's like a soul. Like she was in
Clone Wars. She was like she comes off as like kind of corrupt. Mm-hmm. She kept voting. She kept pushing for more war spending because that was bringing in more money to Kamino and line in her pocket.
Yeah.
And we see her now. She kind of regrets being Palpatine's ally. Look what it got you and your people.
Yeah. I guess for me, like, when I first saw, like, Taipoka City being destroyed, I thought it was like, oh, they just killed, like, the people who were doing the cloning. But it seems like they wiped out pretty much all of the whole
Kaminoans. City. Yeah. Because they don't want other people cloning. They want to control the cloning. Right. They have Hemlock now, and his cloning facility, they want to be, like, the only people in the galaxy doing advanced cloning.
Yeah. So that was pretty big episode.
Yeah, it's just, I guess the small thing, the little character thing was, it was cute seeing Omega and Echo spend some time together and bond before Echo stays behind to help Rex. Yeah. So Echo leaves the party for a little bit. Comes back at the end of the season, but yeah, it was sad for Omega because it's like the first time she's had to say bye to one of her brothers.
Yeah, that wasn't Crosshair.
Well, he's an easy one to say. Yeah, although she really wanted to forgive Crosshair, so.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out is I liked Chuchi and Omega working a lot together. It felt very much like Ahsoka and Padme, like parallel, like kind of, and this is how it works, and like, a little bit of like that childish.
We haven't talked a lot about Omega. You mentioned that she got like a glow up, has a different like character.
Yeah, she got a little longer hair. She's a little taller.
We think that she's 13 now instead of 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, she like her attitude, like you said, being like a cute little kid. She's like
a little bit of a teenager.
Yeah, she's like this like grumpy asshole who complains about everything. It's like I've never had a kid, but it must really suck to be a parent and like watch your kid do that.
Go from like sweet and adorable all the time to being a little
now you're
sassy.
Just mean. Now you're mean to me all the time.
She's not that bad.
No, yeah, she's a good kid. But it's a rough common experience. I have no doubt. So that brings us to episode 9, The Crossing. What happens then?
This is also a two-parter. So do you want me to do both back to back?
Oh yeah, this is the caves, right? The caves and then the kids. Yeah, so let's do episode 9 and episode 9, The Crossing, and then tell us episode 10, Revival. Let's just start with The Crossing. What happens in that one?
Sid sends the Bad Batch to extract some Ipsium mineral from a mine she recently purchased. While they are in the mine, the Marauder is stolen and they are stranded. Forced to trek towards a nearby spaceport, the Bad Batch is buried inside another mine when their Ipsium is detonated by a lightning storm. Inside the new mine, Omega discovers an Ipsian vein and tries to harvest it with TEX. They are separated from the others and have a talk about adapting to changes in life, such as Echo's departure, before they find another way out. They find the spaceport abandoned, but manage to contact Sid, who grudgingly agrees to pick them up in a few days. And then in Revival, episode 10, The Marauder is taken by its thief, a young boy named Benny Barrow, to gang boss Mako at a nearby Ipsium mining facility. Mako prepares to strip the ship for parts to sell. At the spaceport, Omega devises a way to track the Marauder, and the Bad Batch finds the facility. Infiltrating it, they find Benny and force him to take them to the ship. Benny, hoping to gain Mako's favor, betrays the Bad Batch's presence. Just before they are captured, Omega discovers that Mako has been exploiting his workers for his own profit. With this revelation, Benny turns his comrades against Mako, who falls to his death, and the Bad Batch fixes the Marauder and leaves the planet. Wow. These 2 episodes, there's a few things I really like about, but it still kind of feels a little fillery. But there's, like, I really love Omega and Tech talking about Echo's departure. Like, that is such a good scene where, because she kind of fights with Tech and storms off. Like, she kind of fights with all of them, because they're not, like, sad that Echo decided to go off with Rex, because they're used to, like, splitting up their team and doing different missions, and, like, they're like, It's okay, we're brothers, we'll get back together, eventually it's fine. And, like, for Omega, this is, like, outside of the norm. This is not usual for their team to be split up, and she feels probably a little bit abandoned. You know, like, Echo is the one who in the beginning of the season said that Omega was holding them back and that they should be doing more, so she's probably feeling a little guilty. And I think it's good that, like, she calls out, like, Wrecker and Tech and Bandana.
Hunter.
Thanks. But she calls them out. She's like, why aren't y'all upset? Like, I'm upset. And I think it's really good that they all kind of have different reactions to her big emotion. You know, like, Hunter is very understanding. He's like, well, you know, like, this is the first time she's working through this. And Tech is kind of, like, awkward and is like, I don't understand what her problem is. You know, like, he's kind of like, you know, he's like so technical and, like, analytical. Like, this kind of thing would never even cross his mind. Like, he doesn't have that, like, deep emotion that Omega is, like, feeling. But I like that he goes after her, and they kind of have that talk when they fall down the cave thing during their Ipsium mining attempt. And it's so good for both of them. Like, I feel like they both learn a lot in that conversation about, like, Tech being like, oh, well, I do have some of these emotions, but, like, I don't feel the need to, like, bring them up and, like, work them out. Like, he's like, it's just how it is. Like, I know how it is. Like, change is normal, and I expect it. And it's such a good conversation for them to have, because I feel like she gets so many, like, lessons from Hunter and, like, I don't know, even, like, Wrecker. And it's good to see a lot of stuff with her and Tech.
Well, what he's trying to teach to her about you have to adapt to the situation.
Yeah.
He's actually, preparing her for his death.
Yeah.
He doesn't know it, but a lot of the stuff he's talking to her now will apply then.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those scenes that it hits harder after you know that oh yeah, he's gonna die in a few episodes.
Yeah.
Or at least that was like my experience. But I really enjoyed his character so much more watching this time, just knowing to pay attention, but also there's a lot of like I see so much like real life military parallels in the Bad Batch, like personnel. Like I never served in the military, but I know a lot of people who had, and like that guy Tech, like his personality. Like I know so many people that were like I don't know, they're they're very nerdy, but also very soldier-y. It's like the military nerd is a personality type. Like the guy, like, and they normally have like some thick glasses, but they're like just as book smart, but just as like like adventurous, and like they want to be like active on the battlefield and shit, and like but they're also just kind of like this big egghead, and like I don't know, like he reminds me a lot of my uncle who was in Vietnam, but my mom's uncle he was like one of the smartest guys I know, but he was also like a career military man. He was like a corpsman, so he's a medic with Marines in Vietnam. But yeah, I guess he's very tech. He also he wore glasses too, so like he has that nerdy four eyes look, that tech goggles as Sid calls them. Does Sid have a nickname for Echo? Like Hunter is bandana, Wrecker is muscles.
Does she call him cyborg at some point?
Maybe.
Or droid?
Droid
I think she does. Something else that's come up a few times in the other episodes, but I think a really strong one in this arc is Omega starts having really creative problem solving, like to find things or to figure things out and fix situations that our Bad Batch doesn't think about. Like when the Marauder is taken, she's like, "Oh, well, we could just track their trash can battery droid."
Mm-hmm.
What's
Gonky the Gonk droid.
Gonky the Gonk droid. She's like, "We could track the Gonk droid," and Tech was like, "That's genius. Why didn't I think of that?" And that happened in a previous episode where she surprised Tech, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't think about that either." So it was really cool to see how she's getting creative and using like the skills that they've taught her and expand on them. She's a great strategist. We know that she's good at like that game. So she's got a good mind, I think, for like figuring things out.
When we see the character Mako, he has all those enslaved kids that work for him. Mm-hmm. I made the joke in my notes that he had minors.
Oh my god!
But, you see Omega hang out with some kids her own age for once because of these kids, and like the one who like stole their ship. You complain like, why do they leave their ship parked with like that ramp down where anyone can come on board?
Always hate when they leave their ramps down. Like, every time in the Clone Wars that Padme landed anywhere, they always left the goddamn ramp down. I'm like, aren't you worried? I mean, I guess if you need a quick escape, that's convenient. I guess they did a lot of times. But, like, how do you know someone's not stowing away on your ship or taking something off your ship or taking your whole ass ship, like what happens here in Retrieval, where that kid takes their, the Marauder. But, yeah, this was a not fun like story with Mako abusing these kids.
I liked Mako's story because I think it's like, oh, this is like a good, accurate depiction of capitalism and how he's ripping them off. Like he's like giving these kids barely enough scraps to live, and he's telling them like, oh, this what's it called, Ipsium?
Yeah.
This Ipsium's diluted, so we're not even... It's degraded, so we're not even, like, going to make that much money off of it.
But he's lying.
But, yeah, he's lying. And then, like, you see him go into his office, and he's just, like... It is very ridiculous and cartoony, where he just goes, like, no. He's just, like, chowing down. All this food.
He has, like, a whole buffet that he's eating.
He's not the Zygerian cat slaver species. Like, I thought he kind of looked like them, but, like, these kids, like, aren't slaves. And I looked into it, he's actually, like, a different species. But he behaves like a fat cat.
Yeah, these poor kids, and it's like he's pitting them all against each other in like this like rivalry for being like head, I guess, thief, and the head thief gets a meal.
But that's what employers do under capitalism: is they force their underlings to compete with each other. Yeah,
no, I'm not saying that you're not wrong with the comparison, but it hits a lot differently when it's food and minors versus money and adults.
I like it. I want to show this to kids and be like, see, this is why you should always rip off your boss. Yeah. Because they're going to do everything they can to rip off you.
But it also has a lot of that same, we talked about, like Palpatine grooming Anakin, and Mako has many examples.
He's like a little mini Palpatine.
Yeah. And they talk about that, the Bad Batch talk about that at the end of the episode.
Right, how it's like...
It's a mini empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that same kind of exploitation is going on everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's part of, like, Hunter realizing, like, Hunter is stuck in a dilemma of he has to protect this kid, but also the only thing he knows how to be is a soldier. And, like, it looks like here's, like, a really valiant cause for a soldier to fight. But, how is he going to do that and protect this kid at the same time? Yeah. So, I I think I got all my thoughts on the record.
The only thing for retrieval is I think it's good that the Bad Batch let all of the kids take care of Mako. That's like one of my favorite traits is whenever like someone comes in and like kind of saves the day, but then they leave like the horrible leader for their people to deal with how they want to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it looked like he fell in.
He fell,
but they talk about like him being gone. So it's like, did he die? Like
he fucking better have died. I think he did. I think he fell into like the Ipsium pit, like the destruction pit. But like in a way, like they were intimidating him, right? Which is what caused him to fall. And I think it would have been equally fine if they had pushed him over. Honestly, like I wouldn't be mad at them. I'd be like, oh, that's valid.
Let's talk about another dark story with like some horror elements in it. But season 2, episode 11, Metamorphosis.
Dr. Royce Hemlock assumes control of the Imperial cloning facility at Mount Tantus, where Nala Se refuses to help with the Emperor's cloning projects. A covert transport bound by the facility is stranded, and Sid assigns the Bad Batch to recover its cargo. While exploring the wreck, they discover that the cargo is an immature Zillo beast that was created by the Empire through cloning. An Imperial strike force is sent to recover the beast and capture any witnesses, forcing the Bad Batch to retreat. In return for his freedom, Lama Su is brought to the Tantus facility to persuade Nala Se to cooperate with Hemlock. Lama Su tells Hemlock that Nala Se cares for Omega. So, we thought Lama Su had been killed by the new stormtroopers in last season, but surprise, he was actually taken to a prison, and he's back.
Yeah, so they just needed him to get leverage on
Nala Se.
Nala Se. Like, this guy actually doesn't know anything, but...
Yeah, he's not a scientist, he's the prime minister, you know. But I was surprised that I had forgotten that he wasn't killed, because it really insinuated that last season.
The Kaminoans make for some interesting drama. The way that they try to undermine each other. The way that, like, in season 1, Nala Se is trying to undermine Lama Su, while Lama Su is trying to undermine the Empire. And, like, I don't know. It's been kind of fun to watch them go against each other. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the young Zillo beast. It was like having a alien xenomorph running around, like from the Alien franchise. Yeah. But yeah, like that cargo ship it was on, it looks cool going down at the beginning of the episode and, you know, killing the poor clone who was on board. And then they bring in a shitload of commandos to go after it. But it's like scary, like when Tech is alone, you know, in the ship. It's very like alien. And then when like the Zillo beast gets outside and starts feeding off of the energy and growing, and it goes full kaiju.
Yeah.
But so this is the those cloning experiments. They have clearly successfully cloned the Zillo beast, and here it is. It's funny to me that like we're seeing it from like an outsider perspective. You know, like the Bad Batch, they don't really know what's going on with the Imperial project to clone the Zillo beast.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a surprise to them. But when you see like a shitload of commandos, it's a shitload of clone commandos show up to take it down. And then they're also trying to kill the Bad Batch for being there, I guess. But it's funny to see all that stuff from the outside. Because, you know, like, internally in the Empire, like, people are, like, scrambling, like, running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Like, fuck, like, get, like, every commando we have over here right the fuck now. We can't let anyone know that we're cloning this thing. And it looks like they, like...
round up the citizens.
Yeah, like, like either to detain them or permanently silence them. Or, like, but, like... Just the fact that, like, it showed a couple shots of them, like, gathering up those villagers, it's like, okay, that implies very bad things.
Yeah, they're like, you've seen too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad time. Wrong place, wrong time for a lot of those citizens.
And this is the first time we see Dr. Hemlock, and I think this is the first time we see Emery, who we know, spoilers for the last episode we'll talk about tonight, but she's another... female clone of Jango.
Yeah. But she did show up in the finale of season 1 when Nala Se She was
Okay.
there, but they didn't introduce her as Emery,
Right.
but she was there.
But she's there. She has the goggles on.
Yeah, yeah.
But here we see like one of them with goggles on, and we see one without. Like we see like two Emerys.
Okay.
And because like there's more than one. There might only be one named Emery, but there's other ones that work here that we see in season 3. Like I remember like wondering like how many are there, and then seeing like, oh, I guess there are more than one. I think, I don't know.
We'll know soon.
But they also have Dr. Hemlock on screen for the first time, voiced by Jimmy Simpson, I believe, who plays Dreadnought in Star Trek Prodigy. He's also in those Star Trek-inspired Black Mirror episodes with the USS Callister. We really like those. But he has like a good villain voice. I think he's like an improvement over Rampart.
Yeah. I agree. He is a little bit more intimidating. But I feel like I agree with what you said earlier. Like, everyone just kind of looks the same. Like, he's still kind of the same height, same cockiness, assuredness. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he's not like a unique. He doesn't have like a unique profile, like a visual look. He doesn't have like a unique personality.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the blue guy, Thrawn? He's kind of intimidating as hell.
Yeah, and he's unique. Like, you know, when Thrawn comes on screen, you get like pipe organs played.
Yeah.
Like he's like the only character in Star Wars that has like pipe organs as part of his theme. And
yeah, so I am missing some of that extra drama. Like, these guys all just seem like, oh, well, it's like you cut off the head of one. There's a saying like you cut the head off the snake and there's another snake head or something.
That's the Hydra. You cut off the head of a Hydra, and then two more appear to take its place.
That's kind of what this is. Like, Rampart got sliced, and now it's Hemlock. You know, like, and like, kind of the same thing. Like Krennic, you know, you cut off the head, another one pops up. It's like not. They're so replaceable. And, like, the Empire makes them that way, too. Like, they didn't give a shit about Rampart being thrown under the bus. They're like, well, we'll just find someone to replace you. No big deal. Like, no one is important enough or, like, irreplaceable, you know? And so I think that's, like, part of like, these designs are so, like, not memorable and like, it's because they're all replaceable in, like, the grand scheme of everything. Does that make sense?
Well, I don't buy that for Fee being kind of a.
I'm talking about
a less interesting character.
Specifically the Empire people.
But yeah, no, I think there's truth to that. Let's move on to The Outpost, season 2, episode 12.
Crosshair is assigned to Lieutenant Nolan, who dislikes clones. Understatement. At a remote Imperial outpost on Barton 4, 2 crates of classified cargo are stolen. Nolan orders Crosshair and Clone Commander Mayday to recover the cargo. The pair eliminate the thieves and find the cargo, which is Stormtrooper armor. An avalanche injures Mayday and buries the cargo. At the outpost, Nolan chastises them for their failure and refuses to provide a medic for Mayday, who succumbs to his injuries. Fed up with Nolan's arrogance and disrespect of clones, Crosshair kills him. After losing consciousness, Crosshair wakes up as a prisoner in the Tantus facility and meets Dr. Emery Carr. I like this episode more than the conspiracy one.
More than the solitary clone.
Yeah.
This one is equally pretty good. I think I like the solitary clone slightly more because it had all of the like classic Clone Wars imagery. But yeah, this outpost, it sucks. The clone Mayday is a cool, likable guy. I love that this late into, like we're like done with the Clone Wars, but the show, or I guess like the franchise, is still able to introduce new clone characters that are memorable and likable. And like Mayday had like a cool look, you know. He had the full beard because he's been on the snow planet for a long time. He doesn't. He's one of the clones who doesn't do a regulation.
And he has like the
shaving.
wraps around his armor.
He kind of looks like a mummy.
Yeah.
Stormtrooper hybrid.
Like a sand.
He's kind of like Dengar. He kind of looks like the bounty hunter Dengar. He had like armor kind of like that. But yeah, and then he doesn't even know what's in this cargo they're protecting. And so him and Crosshair are just talking about like, yeah, we don't even know what we're sent out here to retrieve back from the Marauders, and it's like a suicide mission. What Lieutenant Nolan, that's his name, Lieutenant Nolan. But he basically like sends them on a suicide mission. He's like, I hate you fucking clones. I want to get rid of all of you. It's just a waste of military equipment.
Yeah.
And so he sends them to go retrieve these supplies. Like, they didn't even know what the cargo was. And they're like, oh, there's like supplies. Like, I could have been using these. Maydays, like, although I was here for months with like nothing. And there's all the, like, my men were like out here dying trying to protect this cargo from these raiders. And this was all like supplies we could have actually been using. But they were supplies for stormtroopers, not for clone troopers.
Yeah.
They were just like, they had the supplies there waiting for the new staff to come take over. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like a lot of people, you know, they'll feel that way, like, yeah, they're like kicked out the door from their, it's like when like two companies merge and then like, oh, you're actually all going to be replaced by the people who do your job at the other company.
Right.
It kind of feels like that, I guess. But yeah, Crosshair out in this was Crosshair's radicalization. This is what turned him against the Empire.
It's a great story for that too, because we kind of see like, I think he has like a good slow burn to be good. You know, like I think they did a really good job like letting that really take its time.
It would have been easy, like they wanted like one of the Bad Batch to die, and like, you know, fair enough. You wanted to be like a gritty war story with consequence. It would have been so easy to kill Crosshair and just like, this is his redemption. This is how we make people believe his redemption. But it's a much more interesting drama to be like, no, we're gonna make him like live with his mistakes and like live with his guilt
and like really feel the impact of being wrong.
Yeah.
Personally, and also like as like a clone brother.
Yeah, like every excuse he was trying to make for the Empire and having like the necessity of like the strong security state, like all of that is like thrown back in his face here when he sees how disposable he is.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, not you. You're a clone.
You know, when they like miraculously make it back to base and he's just like, just begging, like please, he needs a medic, he's gonna die. And then when the lieutenant just stands there and watches Mayday die, he's like saying like, no, I'm not gonna waste Imperial resources on you worthless clones.
Do you remember like in the movie RRR when the guy wouldn't use bullets on
the racist Englishman didn't want to use bullets to kill an Indian in India? Yeah,
and it was basically like, you
just hit him in the head and kill him instead. Yeah, it's way cheaper.
Fucking insane. But yeah, it's kind of what you're seeing in this. Is like, oh well, you know, it's not worth our resources.
Okay, I remember like when you hated Crosshair so much, like before we had watched season 2, like when you'd only seen season 1. Mm-hmm. I remember you like talking so much shit about like, I hate Crosshair.
I
like,
do.
He tried to set Omega on fire. I could never forgive him. But then when we were watching this episode and like you had forgotten what happened, but like
I was like, I hope he kills that motherfucker.
Yeah, you're like, man, I need Crosshair to shoot this son of a bitch.
I'm like, he's already doomed. He might as well. Like, you know, like it's like that's why I think like Nolan doesn't understand, and like a lot of these like Empire people don't understand. Is like once you've exhausted the hope, like you're gonna get shot. Like that's where you're at. Like you've just like basically denied medical care for his brother in front of him and then disrespected him and told him that he's a waste of resources. Like, why would he not kill you? I'm sorry, but like that just like seems like you've stripped every reason for him to not. Does that make sense?
But like, this gets Crosshair to Mount Tantus, where he's going to stay for a while. But yeah, he's going to be part of the Imperial effort to draw out Clone Force 99, and Hemlock really wants to get Omega because he needs Omega to have leverage on Nala Se, so that Nala Se can help his clone science give Emperor Palpatine the gift of immortality is what he's looking for, as we know about in The Rise of Skywalker later. Oh, at least at one point in the stuff, I guess it might be later, but we see like there's like big clone tube things. They kind of look like some tubes that I think we'll eventually see in The Mandalorian. Yeah, so the Project Necromancer is definitely underway, and people are cooking with some. What do they say in The Rise of Skywalker? They're like, the dark science or whatever. What was the answer to like somehow Palpatine has returned? And he's like the Hobbit, the guy who plays one of the Hobbits in Lord of the Rings. He tells Poe Dameron like, it was like dark science or like
I don't remember.
Secrets only a Sith knows.
I've literally seen that movie twice, so I can't quote it.
Well, it's a very famous moment in the movie that everyone makes fun of.
Yeah.
But I like that Crosshair is at Mount Tantus now, which we said Mount Tantus. They showed it briefly in the season finale of season 1, but that's where in the old Star Wars novels there is some weird Imperial cloning stuff going down at Mount Tantus. There was like Palpatine's vault of things.
It's a really cool design.
Yeah.
I like that it's like literally looks like the mountain has been like sliced in part and like a whole like architectural like structural building has taken over, but then they like plop the mountaintop back on. It looks really nice.
And how it's like such a secret location.
Yeah.
Like when that one Imperial like killed himself with the electric tooth to keep Rex and the gang from finding it.
Yeah, and like if you're flying by, you're not gonna see really that it's embedded in the mountain.
Right, yeah, it's like hidden in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Crosshair is going to reside for the immediate future. But everyone else is scoping out their soon-to-be new home in Season 2, Episode 13, Pabu.
After Sid did not come to rescue them from the mining planet, the Bad Batch and Omega informally cut ties with her. They help Phee recover a lost artifact, and she convinces them to accompany her to the peaceful island of Pabu, which she thinks could be a safe place for them to live away from the Empire. They are hosted by Mayor Shep Hazard and his daughter Liana, who befriends Omega. When a tsunami threatens the lower levels of the city, Hunter rescues Omega and Liana from a boat, while Tech and Wrecker help Shep and Phee evacuate the population of the lower levels. After the tsunami, the Bad Batch agrees to stay on Pabu and help rebuild. Technically, they weren't on a boat when he rescued them. They were on the seafloor because all of the ocean was gone into the big-ass tsunami. But I liked this episode a lot. I like Pabu because I feel like a lot of, like, the safe space, like, Star Wars places are always the same.
Right, I was saying, like, well, I think Ord Mantell is kind of a more interesting visual place, but you were saying, like, oh, it's just like...
It's just another cantina.
Yeah, it's just like another, like...
Okay.
Shady part of town, you know? Like, yeah, Star Wars does that a lot. Oh, the Clone Bar. They go back to the Clone Bar a few episodes ago. They went back to the Clone Bar from the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. Club 79 or something like that.
Yeah, but I like Pabu a lot. I like the getting a little bit more on Fee's, like, place where she lives, I guess, and a little bit more about her stealing stuff to kind of...
To support a refugee community. Yeah, it's like a refugee camp.
And I really liked in this that they use... it's not explicitly stated, but it visually looks like they use like a 3D concrete printer to create the homes on Pabu, which is like a really fast way to build a lot of things very cheaply, which makes a lot of sense for like something like this where you're constantly having like refugees come in and you need to quickly build...
Quick and dirty way to fabricate a lot of structure.
But it still looks good and it's sturdy, you know?
Until like the
until it gets hit by a tsunami, of course. But you know, we don't. But we're not talking about natural disasters for the initial builds.
I think the first time I watched this episode, I was annoyed, and I'm like, "What is this filler shit? What is this like Pabu planet? I don't care about." But now I watch it, I'm like, "Oh, this is like when they changed their home base from Ord Mantell to this planet." So, but I didn't understand that the first time I watched it.
Oh, and I love so much that like Omega brings up to Liana, she's like, well, I grew up on an ocean planet, so like I feel so at home here, but this even feels better because it's not fucking raining all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy that Omega feels safe here, you know?
And everyone loves Wrecker because he's just like free construction equipment.
Yeah, basically.
He just like loves helping people move heavy things.
Yeah.
It's fun for him.
And it's like the first time that he says that he's ever felt full in his life. Like there's just a lot of satisfaction.
Oh yeah, and then Tech is like note the date and time.
Yeah. And Phee and Tech have like a cute little thing.
Yeah.
It's mostly Phee. I think Tech is completely like what would you even say? Like he's like doesn't even notice that she's making advances on him. He's not.
He's not reciprocating.
I don't know if he's like. I don't even think he realizes that there's a potential there.
He's very focused on, like, being a soldier. Like, at one point when someone's pointing out to Omega, like, what about, like, learning about, like, other things and being a soldier? And he's like, what other things? What would it be worth wasting time learning about?
Yeah.
So, yeah, his love life is a very low priority.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe he would develop some feelings if he had more time to spend with her.
I think the thing is that Fee is never direct enough until she's very direct at the last time they talk. And that's when he's like, oh.
But you never know. No one knows how little time they have with someone until you do, you know?
But I think she didn't realize that she wasn't being direct enough.
There's that moment when they get on his grappling hook gun when he's taking her up to let the ladders down. But, like, he, like, carries her in his arm. It looks like they're like Batman and Vicky Vale in Batman 1989.
Yeah, it's very cute.
It's like Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer. But the community of Pabu, it seems nice and idyllic and definitely a better community than Sid's bar.
And it's like a hodgepodge of a bunch of refugees, so there's like tons of species there, and it's very cultural friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely a very utopian feel.
But the big scary tsunami wave, it was pretty suspenseful.
Dude,
like
I was literally I didn't realize how much water trauma I have until I watched Bad Batch. Like when Omega and Crosshair almost drown on Camino when they're being like shot down in Camino. I was stressed the fuck out. And like when they're walking through the tunnels and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, like I have a lot of fear of drowning, I guess, and like being out of control in a water situation. And like when the water started receding, I was already like level 10 scared.
Oh, when there's like that shot of like the big wave coming towards them, like it made me want to get up and run out of the room.
I was terrified too. I was like, that is intense.
Yeah, it was easy for me to imagine like having to run from
being
that.
there, literally like their boat got like sucked up and then thrown on some goddamn rocks. They like had to, and they like jump in the water, and as soon as the camera, like not the camera but like the animation like follows them into the water, all of that water recedes, and so they're just on the seabed in like a matter of seconds. It's insane. And then like this just huge wall of water, and like Hunter is like literally in the Marauder like coming in to like try to get these kids and save them from this fucking massive tsunami, and he really just like barely gets them.
But it looked cool. It was cool. Animation was very impressive.
Yeah, this one had me on the edge of my seat.
And then so the next episode sets up the 2-part finale, but tell us what happens in episode 14, Tipping Point.
Hauser and other clones imprisoned for disobedience against the Empire are rescued en route to Tantus by Echo, Gregor, and other rogue clones. At Tantus, Hemlock interrogates Crosshair about the whereabouts of Omega and the Bad Batch. Crosshair is left unattended for a moment and escapes long enough to send a message to the Bad Batch warning them that the Empire is looking for Omega, before being subjected to intense torture. Echo joins the Bad Batch on Pabu with data he retrieved during the rescue. After receiving Crosshair's message and analyzing Echo's data, the Bad Batch learns about the Empire's secret Advanced Science Division, ASD.
So we don't actually see Rex again in this one, right? Mm-hmm. But it's, but I kind of like it. It shows that they are like a bigger network. Like Rex is off somewhere else working with some other clones somewhere. But Echo and Gregor working together. They look so cool in the opening of this episode when they do that attack on that ship. How their ship like split up and they attacked it from like the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to get Hauser rescued because
I was worried about him.
Yeah, we liked his stand on Ryloth.
Yeah.
So I guess he just had like the willpower to resist his inhibitor chip and start refusing orders. So it looks like more and more clones are starting to do that.
Yeah.
So good for them.
And I'm sure that once that they're rescued, I guess, by like Echo and Rex, they're
taking the chips out.
Those chips are coming out ASAP. You know Rex is not fucking around with that.
Yeah, no, he was insistent. He was like, if you have chips in your head, we need to get them out ASAP.
Yeah.
He was very insistent about that.
Yeah, I loved Echo's return when he comes back on Pabu. And,
Right, they needed tech to decrypt this was the part where that Imperial guy kills himself. Because they were taking these clones to Tantus, to Mount Tantus.
Mm-hmm. But he can't...
They don't want anyone to... Like, I think they don't even know themselves. I think we learned in Season 3 that, like, the people don't even know, like, the coordinates they're flying to. But... yeah, like, so the location of that planet is incredibly top secret.
But I was gonna say I liked the return of Echo, and he got to, like, or, like, Omega sees him and, like, runs up and, like, gives him a big hug, and it's, like, it's such a meaningful reunion.
She's flying the ship, too. She's flying the Marauder. She's doing her flight lessons,
With
that's adorable. It's very much like, you know, like watching someone teach their kid how to drive and how scary but necessary it is to do that.
Yeah.
And then Echo shows up, and she's, like, so happy to, like say hi to him on the comms, and then like when he lands, but like you have to like show him like, look, like I'm flying a ship too,
because that was the last thing that they
race to land too, which also stresses Tech, but
but that was like the last thing Echo said to Omega before he left was like to keep working on training or whatever, and so she's like, as soon as she sees him, she's like, I've been training. It's so cute. But I loved their reunion. It was very good.
I really liked Crosshair. He, like, escapes from his clone cell, or his prison cell, and shoots several stormtroopers and, like, makes his way to send off a communication, and all he can get out there to his brothers, to Clone Force 99, is Plan 88. Mm-hmm. Which I guess that meant, like, the Seeker, like, someone's looking for us, like, like, lay low. Because he's basically trying to tell them, like, hey, they're going to use me as bait, they're really trying to get Omega, you have to stay away.
Yeah.
But all he could get out was the Plan 88 stuff, and so they have enough of the encrypted data from that ship that they understand that there's, like, some weird cloning shit going on, and that they want Omega.
I really appreciate that Crosshair doesn't say shit about any of them. Even though, like, they're not seeing eye to eye. Like, those are still his brothers. And, like, he doesn't know Omega very well. But, like, Omega rescued him on Camino.
Yeah,
you know?
He has no love for the Empire anymore. They've beaten that out of him.
But I'm glad that there isn't, like, he's not, like, alone. Like, he's not... I don't know even how to explain what I'm trying to say. But
like he's resisting. He doesn't just give in to the interrogation droid that...
Well, not even that, but that he's so concerned about getting the message out that he's like, I really don't give a shit what happens to me at this point. Like I'm going to shoot all these stormtroopers every chance I get.
Yeah, this is probably the most...
I don't care if I die.
This is probably the most secure building in the galaxy. It was an impressive feat to see him, run through it to get the communication out.
But even though he's not super close with his brothers right now, and he's not very close with Omega, he still chooses to, like, really risk his life to just get the word out, to not, you know, like, fall for that trap, and that they're coming for you. I think that's really big of him.
So what happens in the last two episodes, the Summit and Plan 99? Start with the Summit. What do we got?
The Bad Batch trails Hemlock to a summit hosted by Tarkin on Eriadu, which concerns top-secret Imperial programs, including the ASD's cloning research and Project Stardust. As they sneak into the base where the summit is held, the Bad Batch discovers that Saw Gerrera has also infiltrated the compound to assassinate the assembled top-level Imperial officers. They ask Gerrera not to complete his mission so they can follow Hemlock back to the ASD's secret facility, but Gerrera sets off explosives when the intruders are discovered. The Bad Batch attempts to escape using the base's railcar system, but this is disrupted by the explosions and they are stranded.
Yeah, so they're hanging there on the rail car with the stormtroopers in the other car. And that brings us to the final episode, Plan 99.
With their rail cars stuck and under attack from Imperial forces, Tech sacrifices his life to boost the others away from the Empire. They retreat to Sid's parlor on Ord Mantell to treat their injuries and come to terms with their loss. They soon realize that Sid has betrayed them to Hemlock, who arrives and captures Hunter and Wrecker. This forces Omega to come into the open. Echo and AZ-3 rescue Hunter and Wrecker, but Omega is captured and taken to Tantus. Hemlock uses Omega's presence to encourage Nalase to work on their projects. Omega encounters Crosshair and Emery Carr. The latter reveals herself to also be a clone, making her Omega's genetic sister.
R.I.P. Tech.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that was Plan 99. So we had a Plan 88. Now we get the Plan 99, I guess, is like, I'm going to self-sacrifice, named after the Clone 99, the OG Bad Batcher that they named their Clone Force 99 after. But I guess that was way back in Season 3 of the Clone Wars when we saw him. But yeah, he died trying to get, he's trying to like grab more grenades.
Yeah, so they could kill more droids.
But yeah, so the death of Tech when he's dangling on the cable and Wrecker wants to pull him up, and he's like, Wrecker's like telling him like, you can't let go, or like, you know, whatever he's telling, he's like you can't do that, you have to come back up here, or whatever. But his last words are like, when have we ever followed orders?
Yeah.
But the way that he saves them, when he shoots the connection of the two rail cars, so that the rail car he's hung up on will fall off, and then the other one can escape.
Yeah.
And he's cutting off his dead weight. The way that he had to like shoot that though with his pistol, that's what I was saying. Like when they had to use explosives to blast their way to escape that Star Destroyer thruster when Crosshair was gonna roast them. It's like they're all like, even when they do these heroic things or like these creative things to survive or whatever, it's like it's still through like death and destruction. It's like planting explosives or like shooting things with a gun or just it's just like it's like when Hunter is talking about like, yeah, like we're soldiers, that's all we know how to do. It's like, yeah, but they use that to do all this other stuff. It's just interesting to me. They keep it very on brand about them being soldiers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also have like the betrayal of Sid. I love that Saul Guerrera and Tarkin must have like this rivalry because like but I love that like the beginning of the Empire, like one of the first thing Tarkin wants to do is like, this guy Saul Guerrera is going to be a problem for us, we need to take him down immediately.
Yeah.
And then like they fail to kill him.
Guerrero's like, bet.
But he's pissed, but no, that pissed him. He's like, y'all tried to kill me and y'all killed like a lot of my soldiers, so I'm going to come blow up y'all. I'm going to go bomb your house when you have a big meeting.
Y'all just escalated me from 100% to 100,000 million times %. Like, now I'm really coming at ya.
But yeah, this escalation. And then like they're both going to end up dying around the same time, but Saul dies first, but I think laughs last because he dies, but he contributes to the destruction of the Death Star with Tarkin on it. So but yeah, most revolutionaries know they're not gonna their real victory will be won long after they're not around to see it. But damn it, Saul Guerrera, like, could you not have done it this day? Like maybe Tech would still be around. Like but yeah, if he was able to like take out Tarkin and Krennic and like those other assholes who were in there. Oh, I looked up like those Imperials. One of them is one of the guys from the Death Star, but another one of them was a Republic officer who served under Plo Koon with Wolf and the Wolf. He was like their Admiral Yularen basically. Okay, but remember the guy who spoke up to Tarkin is like, I served with clones during the war and they were actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Tarkin was like, I served with them too. I thought they fucking sucked.
Well.
The Jedi taught them to be individuals, and that's made them unpredictable. We need to be rid of them.
Oh, Tarkin.
But yeah, and mention of Project Stardust. So Tarkin is... it's fun to see the accurate kind of like real-world bureaucratic bullshit about like Tarkin is so worried about like spending budgets. He's like, we need to allocate more resources for Project Stardust and not this weird cloning thing you're doing.
Yeah. He's super not on board with Hemlock, I think. Like,
but Hemlock kind of has Tarkin in a bit of a stranglehold, though, because the Emperor really wants...
Oh, the cloning stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he really wants to figure out a way where he can be cloned. Mm-hmm. So, Tarkin, really wants to be on the Emperor's good side. Mm-hmm. But, Tarkin wasted no time shutting down the cloning on Kamino to reallocate those resources to this, what will be called in Season 3 Project Necromancer. I think it's Project Necromancer. It might be called something Necromancer. Yeah, it's Project, right? Yeah, because it's Project Stardust. That's how the Empire names things. Project War Mantle was that was Rampart's stormtrooper program. Mm-hmm. When they had it's not an AT-ST, but the two-legged walker, it's actually an AT-CT. Mm. But it's like the first one, like it's the closest thing we've seen. It's like man, like they are getting like really close to that original trilogy Empire. Yeah. It kind of looks like the walkers we see in Rebels. So it's like, hey, we're seeing like a lot of like Rebels stuff. At the first two episodes, Spoils of War and Ruins of War, that cargo ship that they were stealing Dooku's treasure off of, those cargo ships are in Rebels. They have those Imperial cargo ships. So, what else happened in these last two episodes?
Echo commandeered that walker too. That was pretty cool.
Right? Yeah, the way that it's very Return of the Jedi when he's like using the walker on the other walker.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because they have the big fight. It's in they go to Ord Mantell. Yeah. So and then I think something happens at Pabu in Season 3.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet.
But man, like it's cool to see AZ3.
Yep.
And then it's cool like Omega's perspective when they leave Tarkin's planet.
Ariadu.
Eriadu I think is how I say it.
Ariadu, I think is how they say it.
Ariadu.
Star Wars.
I used to read that. That's like an old planet name. That was like always Tarkin's homeworld was Eriadu. Or like, I used to say Palpatine in Coruscant.
Yeah.
But, so I guess don't trust me on Star Wars pronunciations.
I don't trust it myself because it's just like, they're very difficult.
But when they leave that planet and it's all from Omega's perspective.
Oh, yeah, like that first person, like, where she's kind of blacking out and then wakes up and then turns and like, yeah.
But they go to Ord Mantell because that's where AZ3 is. They needed him to patch them up. I guess that's why they go there instead of Pabu. But it sucks that they go there because then Sid turns them in.
Yeah. But they technically needed to get AZ back anyway. That's their buddy. That's not Sid's
Don't leave
buddy.
him with Sid. I'm glad that he's still around in Season 2. I always want him to be more of the... I want him on the ship when they go on missions.
Yeah, I agree. He would be fun.
Yeah, just to add a little variety to the characters. Yeah. Like, nothing against Gonk Droid, but, like, not a ton of personality there. But yeah, this is good. It was a great finale. I didn't watch most of Season 2 until Season 3 was already out, and we just went straight from Season 2 to 3. So I'm glad that I did that and didn't have to wait a year to see how they're going to get Omega and Crosshair back. But I'm looking forward to watching those episodes soon and discussing that with you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's everything I have to say this night.
Cool. Well, I had a lot of fun discussing Bad Batch with you. It's a show that I always have a great time with, and I need to remember I actually really like the Bad Batch. It doesn't hit like those greats we got to in Clone Wars, but it sure as hell I think consistently stays better than an average Clone Wars episode.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to finishing the show and moving on to Andor and...
Obi-Wan.
Oh, we got the Kenobi show, the Solo movie, some more Tales of the Underworld, Tales of the Empire, Rebels, and then eventually that original trilogy and more.
Which one? Which original trilogy?
There's only one.
The original trilogy. I'm fucking with you.
What other original trilogy would there be?
I'm messing with you. The big three. I'm excited because we're planning to do one show per movie.
Yeah, we have some big plans for May the 4th that will hopefully we'll be doing multiple streams that day, so stick around for that. You won't want to miss it. And until next time, remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.